Monday, September 2nd. Switzerland will be the first to report important economic events in the coming week. At 9:30, the retail sales report is expected there. The data will show how the total value of goods sold at retail change in the reporting month compared to the same month of the previous year. If the growth in retail sales slows down, it could have a negative impact on the franc's performance. At 11 o'clock, the S&P Global European Union Manufacturing PMI will be announced. Calculation of the index includes seasonal adjustment and weighting coefficients of the surveyed companies. An indicator value above 50 means that the majority of respondents favorably characterize business conditions. The growth of the industrial PMI may positively affect the euro. Tuesday, September 3rd. On Tuesday, 15 o'clock, Brazil will release gross domestic product data. It reflects the total value of all goods and services produced in a country over a certain period of time. The purpose of GDP is to measure economic activity and wealth. The higher the production, the greater the growth in consumption, investment, and trade in general. GDP growth can have a positive impact on the Brazilian real. Also on this day, the United States will report the manufacturing PMI. Purchasing managers of companies usually feel the rhythm of the market before the rest of their colleagues because they work on a short-term perspective and are able to assess the trend of changing economic conditions. An increase in the index can have a positive impact on the dollar. Wednesday, September 4th. China will be in the center of traders' attention this day. At 4:45 Moscow time, the publication of the services PMI from Caixin is expected there. It is calculated based on the results of a survey of managers responsible for purchasing in more than 400 companies in the service sector. The growth of the index indicates further development of the Chinese service sector. This may have a favorable impact on the RMB exchange rate. At 16:45, the Bank of Canada will release its interest rate decision. Depending on the prevailing inflation conditions, the regulator either raises the interest rate if inflation is too high, lowers it if there is deflation, or leaves it unchanged. If the rate is increased, it favorably affects the national currency. Thursday, September 5th. On this day at midnight, South Korea will inform about its GDP. The indicator reflects the value of all goods and services produced in South Korea in the reporting quarter compared to the previous quarter. The calculation takes into account private consumption, government spending, spending by all businesses, and the country's net exports. GDP growth may have a positive impact on the South Korean won. Market players will also be closely following the news from the Eurozone. At noon, Eurostat will report on retail sales. The data is adjusted for inflation. A special deflator is introduced for this purpose. Adjustments are also made for calendar and seasonal effects. An increase in retail sales in the Eurozone may have a favorable effect on the euro exchange rate. Friday, September 6th. On September 6th, Canada will report the employment change. The data for calculating the level comes from the results of the regular nationwide population survey. The interpretation of the indicator depends on the context. Growth in full employment is usually interpreted as a favorable factor in the economy. At 15:30, the United States will report the change in non-farm payrolls. This is an indicator reflecting the number of new jobs created in the reporting month in all sectors of the United States economy except the agricultural sector. Also, the calculation does not include military and intelligence services, self-employed citizens, and those employed in private households. The growth of the indicator positively affects the dollar.